Dr. Gary Lacefield is an expert on business negotiations, professional communication. Here's the question. Show me the money. Are you going to get a raise this year, and how do you go about it? Can you actually ask for it? If you do, how do you get it? Gary is an expert. Good morning. Let's make this really easy for everybody. They all deserve a raise.
Yes, sir. We all do.
I think maybe anyway. So what do you do? I mean, how do you pose the question? You just walk in and say, "Hey, we need to talk about more money."
Well, no, sir. I mean, we all feel like we're probably underpaid and underappreciated. But basically, what happens is you see somebody else that comes on board. They're making more money than you are. Matter of fact, you may even be training them, and they're making more money than you are.
Right.
The worst thing you can do is go in and say, "Hey, I'm training this person. I've already shown my worth, and you're paying them more than I am." That's absolutely the wrong thing to do. What you need to do is, first of all, and this is what I teach my students, is keep a journal, keep a diary, keep a journal of the things, a record of the things that you do that are maybe above and beyond your pay grade. So, for example, let's say your boss leaves early every other Friday and leaves you in charge. Document that. Not the fact that they're leaving you, not the fact that they're leaving, but the fact that they're leaving you in charge. And when it comes time to negotiate your raise, then you've got a list of things that you can say, "Hey, here's what I have done above and beyond, and so therefore I have justified a raise."
So you're really saying you must. It's really important to build a case. Is really what you're saying, I think.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Because in this day and time, you need to be able to document your worth. You need to be able to prove up that this is who I am. This is the value that I add to the company. You should never compare yourself to someone else.
Yeah.
Because you're not that person. You should only compare yourself to what value you bring to the company. And if you don't rock the boat, and this is what many employers they rely on, is that, well, I'll just wait my annual time and get my whatever that 2 or 3 or 4% is. However, when you have made a case, when you've justified that now you can come in and say, "Look, this is what I've done," and so this is not what you're entitled to. This is what you've earned.
Don't you think you have to also make sure that your house is clean? And by that, I mean, maybe that does mean literally keeping your office space clean or whatever. But beyond that, I mean, if they come back and are like, "Yeah, about that raise, we did a little search in your email and we found 857 private emails that were sent during your time here, and about 3,000 Facebook posts." I mean, don't you have to make sure you're not setting yourself up to be spanked here?
Well, absolutely. I mean, first of all, you should never ask for a raise unless you have deserved it, unless you have earned it.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're spending more time on social media than you are on your job, then you
don't deserve it. Yeah. And what about today? We're seeing a lot of this with, like in New York State, we've just seen a raise in minimum wage. It's going up to $15, and it's going up incrementally over the course of the next 5 or 6 years. But we're seeing that, and in some cases, it's taking an employee who just started, especially in the fast food industry, and then moving him up to the point where, or her up to the point where they're equal maybe with their manager. So now the manager's saying, "Whoa, if this person gets a raise based on the new law, shouldn't I get a raise?" How do you handle those situations?
Well, it's one of those situations where it's just like consider it a union. Typically, when union members earn a benefit, those benefits are also typically passed along to management.
Yeah.
I can never remember a time when that wasn't the situation.
Right. Very interesting stuff. But obviously, you want to present your case. Don't compare yourself to other people, and just present a case that shows your value and why it's worth the company's in the company's benefit to pay you a little more money.
Absolutely, because it's cheaper for the company in the long run, it's cheaper for the company to retain you than it is to bring somebody else in because you're a known quantity.
Yeah. Good stuff. Dr. Gary Lacefield, we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank
right.
you, sir.